Welcome to Armchair Expert. I'm Dan Shepard. I'm joined by Monica Monsoon.
Hi there.
Hello. I wish we were keeping track of what day it is. Day 100 of quarantine?
Kind of feels like it.
Boy, one tiny sliver of upside for us is we have access to some awesome people that have more time than they normally would.
Yeah, or are in other locations.
Yeah, maybe just because we've opened this up to doing it via Zoom.
Yeah.
But at any rate, what an amazing guest we have today. Alicia Keys. She is a musician, a singer, a composer, an actress, pianist. Do I say that right?
Pianist.
Yeah. Classically trained pianist. Keys was composing songs by age 12 and was signed at 15 years old by Columbia Records. Another Wunderkind.
Yes. Add her to the stack of Wunderkinds.
She has 15 competitive Grammy Awards, 17 NAACP Image Awards, 9 Billboard Music Awards, and 7 BET Awards. And she has a new book, which I have read, and I absolutely love it. It's called More Myself, A Journey, and it's out now, and I couldn't recommend it enough. It's fantastic, and she's goddamn lovely, isn't she?
So special.
I know. So please enjoy the ever-talented Alicia Keys. We get support from Quince.
So we've been talking about Quince a lot lately, and as we head into fall, it's the perfect time to reset your wardrobe with their amazing pieces. I think it's so fun to do when the seasons turn over to just spruce up your wardrobe with a couple specials, and Quince is the place.
Totally. We're talking organic cotton, Mongolian cashmere, tailored chinos from just $60. Premium fit and quality you'd expect from a luxury brand designer. I love Quince. I like it understated and subtle, and I like stuff that has high quality. And Quince checks all those boxes.
I love a lot of stuff from Quince. Honestly, they have incredible premium denim, which is very important for fall. It's pretty much all I wear in the fall is denim. And Quince has such a good selection of quality denim. Their stuff is so versatile, timeless, and built to last that you just grab every single day without thinking.
Right. And all of that for 50 to 80% less than similar brands. They go direct to ethical factories, cut out the middlemen, so you get all that quality without overpaying for it.
We love that. And they do way more than clothes. They have bedding, cookware, bath essentials, travel must-haves, same deal, and great quality.
Upgrade your everyday. Download the Quince app for app-exclusive offers or go to quince.com/Dax. Get free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. Now available in Canada and the UK too. That's QUINCE.com/Dax.
We get support from Skims. Oh man, do I love Skims. I've been living in the Skims lightweight cotton collection all summer, and I have to tell you, getting dressed has become so easy. I just throw it on. It just feels right immediately, whether I'm grabbing coffee or I'm on the couch all day or I'm out, even going to dinner. The cotton is so lightweight and breathable, which in this heat is a non-negotiable. The cotton jersey t-shirt, I just need everyone to know about this one. This one hugs in all the right places. It's very soft and it still looks and fits the same after months of washing, which is very hard to do, I feel, with t-shirts. I've been wearing the black cotton jersey t-shirt with basically everything all summer long. It goes great with any patterned skirt or shorts or pants. I mean, anything truly. I believe that's probably my favorite piece from the cotton collection, but they also have great lightweight cotton thongs that are so comfortable and they're cute. That is a very, very hard mix to achieve, especially with undergarments. I feel if you can find some that are cute, but also comfortable and do the job, that is a win. And Skims has really, really figured that out with the lightweight cotton collection. Shop Skims cotton and all of my favorite pieces at skims.com. After you place your order, be sure to let them know we sent you. Select podcast in the survey and be sure to select Armchair Expert in the drop-down menu that follows.
He's an armchair expert. He's an armchair expert. He's an armchair expert.
I think it'd be a great interview to just sing to her, you and I, for an hour and a half. I think people...
Are y'all gonna sing to me?
Yeah, no one's ever done that, have they? Just done an interview with you where they sang the whole time to you your own songs?
Like it never said a word, just only sang.
Songs only.
Yeah, like your participation would be as an audience member.
I love that. I love
That so much. I would actually enjoy that thoroughly. Can you guys hear me well?
We
Can hear you great, but I can't see you, which is very disappointing because
I know, but nobody likes Zoom. Like they pretend like they like Zoom, and you know, in these times we're grateful for Zoom,
we are.
but nobody
That's true.
really likes to like be all up on the camera with people they never met before in they house clothes.
Okay, so I hate like a selfie to me is my worst nightmare. I'm like, what angle works with this nose? I can't figure it out. And I don't want to be in selfies with people. It makes me insecure and I hate it. Now, with that said, Alicia Keys,
Okay,
I fancy
okay, all right.
myself
Tell me
as
what.
someone who had great phone game in junior high. Like I attribute most of my success with women to a really dialed in phone game. Are you with me so far?
Really?
Yes.
I'm with you. I mean, I agree. I don't know you, but I don't see why not.
Like I would have got your number in junior high and I would have called you up and I could have made it go for 90 minutes. I could have talked your ear off for 90 minutes.
Okay. So you're a long talker. That's not exactly phone game. That's just long talking.
The other participant was always thoroughly amused and intrigued. Okay? If I could see you, well, let me ask you this: can you see me?
Oh my god, I can. I'm enjoying.
Oh, then
it.
we're good to go. We're fine.
Yeah?
The performance,
You
will,
sure?
yeah.
But we would love to see you if it's
I
possible.
would love to see you because I'm attracted to you. But let me just back up.
Me too.
Monica's also very attracted to you. Monica and I don't like how we look. Now we like how each other looks, but we personally, when we look in the mirror, we're like, not what I would have picked.
Not crazy about it.
Not wild. Now, how do you feel about how you look when you look in the mirror?
I mean, it's okay, depending on the moment. You know, like if I spent a little time and had a little moment, then I'm feeling comfortable with how I look. If
Okay.
it was just like currently how my hair is sticking up, but if I go get my hat, I will put on the face. Should I go get my hat and put on the
I
video?
would love it. I would love it.
Just wanted to have an intimate moment together.
Yes. I want to see like, if you start reading a book while we're talking, that'll be a cue to me that I'm not stimulating you conversationally.
I
right?
see. Okay. All
I
right.
need
Hold
some
on. I'll be
visual
right back
cues.
with my hat.
Oh, I
Okay,
can't wait.
BRB.
I hope it's a sombrero.
Okay, sombrero
Oh,
is back.
cannot
Here
wait.
come the sombrero. Start video. Dun, 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 dun,
There you
are. Dun, 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 dun,
Yay.
Dun, dun, rainbow hat says somewhere
Come on,
on the
rainbow hat.
cap.
Oh, it looks
Da-da,
great.
da.
Fire. Awesome. Thank you for talking to me. Thank you for connecting with me. Is this social distancing distanced enough, or how are we doing with the distance of the social?
Yeah, I'm not gonna blow up your actual coordinates, but yes, we're in excess of 100 miles away. So I think we're
doing good.
looking
But what
real
about the
good.
two of you, though?
Oh, we live together.
We've been quarantined together.
Got it. All right.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
Monica, by weird coincidence, was living at our house for about 4 weeks before this all started because she has her own medical issues. She had a seizure, and then she wanted to make sure that if she had one again, someone was there to care for her. So she had already moved
Definitely.
in. So it just worked.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, that's perfect.
It worked out
Yeah.
perfectly. Seizures can have an upside.
Yeah. Can I say a couple things about you? One, we watched your Nickelodeon thing
Yes.
that Kristen hosted.
Yes, that's right.
And I wasn't saying this just because I knew I was about to interview you. What'd I say, like mid-song?
Full body chills 3 times.
Full body chills 3 times.
It was, unbelievable.
You got me
That's
good.
Best compliment. Like, there's nothing better of a compliment than full body chills. That's all that ever matters.
Oh, that started in the head, like came in the ears, started in the forehead, and then radiated down all the way to the tips of my toes. Goosebumps, hair standing on end.
Yeah. Also, because you were doing it from your home or somewhere, it just is like, oh, that's just what she sounds like.
Yes.
It's so pure.
I think the expectation was a little lowered because it was lo-fi, and then all of a sudden, I don't know the name of that song.
Oh, it's called Underdog.
Underdog. But you start playing your voice kind of like an instrument. I mean, that's so generic to say, but I mean really like Like you'd hear like a sax solo or something. There's just
So specific.
it's being played. It's not just words.
I love right. I feel you. Yes. I love that so much. That's so cool. That's so good. I'm glad you got to see it. And honestly, I felt the same way too. I even got a chance to watch it back. I was also just really happy with the way that it felt, because sometimes when you're in the mix, you don't, you feel good. I know I felt good about it, but you don't get a chance to be apart from it and just kind of listen to it.
Yeah.
And then I was like really happy with that too. So thank you. I appreciate it.
Now, I have to imagine there's songs that are more autobiographical, or they're about something you care specifically about. Like sometimes I imagine you're just in a good mood and you want an upbeat song and an empowering song or whatever the thing is, but surely there's some, right, that are pretty emotionally centered.
It's never worked out well for me to just kind of like write a song. That's never gone well for me. And I've done it. I've tried. I say, or man, thinking about this kind of topic and this seems relevant to me right now, but it might not be like super personal or whatever. And I'll try to put it together and it sounds good. There's nothing wrong with it, but it just doesn't really go there. So
Yeah.
I have to say that although some are definitely, to your point, more touchy, like something about it is just very touchy at the moment, and that is triggered. But most of all the songs have come from somewhere that means something. Otherwise, I just find that it doesn't end up ever making the record because it kind of just falls off eventually.
Yeah. I wonder if it's at all comparable. So I write a lot. Man, there's some scenes I write where I like blink and there's 5 pages written. And then there's other ones where it's like I'm killing myself for 4 days to write 2 pages to get through the exposition or whatever. Is it kind of like that at all?
That's exactly it. The cool thing is, what I think I've learned though, is trying not to judge the creative process as much, because even though some of the songs are like water raining down, it's just so natural. And then some I've have to craft and recraft and retry and replay and redo. And I'm like killing myself because I'm like, I cannot believe it. Why is this song giving me so much trouble? But then finally, when it finds its way, then it was worth it. So I try my best not to judge the creative process.
Right. Like you're not going to say, oh, if this didn't come to me like this, it must not be meant to be.
Be good. I'm cool with crafting a thing, crafting a piece of art. I'm okay with that.
I give so little advice because I don't feel qualified, but my only good piece of writing advice I have is give yourself permission to write something shitty. Like the hurdle is starting writing. Once you're writing, guess what? You're probably not going to write something that's shitty. But if you just allow yourself to sit down and write something shitty, I think sometimes great things can happen.
You're so right about that, because I think a lot of the things we're dealing with is like fear that we're not good enough, which we all, feel that and just experience that. And so, of course, you talk yourself out of it, because then you don't have to prove yourself right, that you weren't good enough. Damn. But I do find that for me, even, there's times when I have sat down and write and it has been shitty. And I'm like, oh, that's not good at all. I don't like it. And maybe a month later, I'll come back and I'll write a whole other song, but this one phrase from that one time came back in and it meant everything it needed to mean. And I realized that even though I wrote something that was kind of not what I was hoping for in that time, I needed to do it so it could get to this time. So that's kind of a cool thing too.
Yeah. Now, do you live in any fear? Because certainly comedians, we all live in fear that we have a shelf life. And I think there's a weird parallel too between singers, which is generally the source of comedy is like you're getting shit on by your boss, you're penniless, you're uncomfortable. Insecurity. You feel talked down to a lot. Like there's all these people you're observing, but then the danger of getting successful is now life gets kind of more comfortable. You can kind of control it more. You're not the victim of so many things. And then you just start worrying like, am I so separated I can't write anything funny?
Yeah. I mean, that's definitely an artist experience. And also I think it's because there's been programming that we've been given in a lot of ways. I mean, that's what I think about that all the time, and I recognize the programming a lot, especially now.
Yeah.
But the programming that we've been given is like, oh, starving artists, all these phrases that we're taught that, the less you have, the more creative you're going to be, which, trust me, not that there's not truth to those things. Like there's definitely truth. You can totally see why they're shared, but I think that those things get in our head, and then we start feeling like, well, I shouldn't probably get too successful Because,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and then you see all these other people,
Yeah.
the successful people are crazy. So many times I've seen like very successful people. I'm like, y'all are crazy. I don't want to be like that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Right? So
Yeah.
sometimes I think all of that gets in your way, and then you subscribe to this story that you have some type of limit.
Yeah.
And me too. Trust me, I've been trying to break out my own personal limit that I put on myself for like a long time, which is a lot of what is in this book and this conversation that I'm having with myself and just with each other. Because I think we all experience this, but for sure, me, I can only speak for myself. They're the limits that I like put on myself and thinking that it was humility. That's the crazy part.
Right.
I'm like, oh no, I'm just humble. So I don't need that, or it doesn't matter if that doesn't happen. It was the same thing as not starting to write because I was protecting myself in case something happened, and I was just like, nah, I'm good. I don't even need all that. It's fine.
Yeah.
And then I'm like shutting everything down before I even try to do something at all, and it's deep. So
It is,
Yeah.
right? And then even if you had to list like the top 100 songs ever written, I mean, I have to imagine 80% of them are either going to be about falling in love or leaving love, right? Mm-hmm, and as we get kind of healthy and you find yourself in a healthy relationship and a marriage, and it's like, oh, I'm not either going to be ending this or starting this. And that's such fodder for songs.
Yeah, no, it's true. I mean, there's so much to write and there's so many perspectives. And I think that's my favorite thing about songs and songwriting is that it's literally like how a person sees a thing as to how it comes to life. And I just find that to be so fascinating, especially when I'm just listening or watching other artists or other writers or things like that. I'm like, man, I would have never thought of it like that. I would have thought of it like this. You know what I mean? So I think that to your point that I love the challenge. And I think what happens maybe even as life progresses, just period, I've found it's definitely a lot of loss, but I find that it's things that I'm losing because I'm growing. So it's a different version of loss. You know what I mean? It left me because I didn't need it anymore.
Yeah.
And sometimes it kind of presents itself, or even the anger that maybe you don't feel in your relationship because you're very pleased with it and it's going well. But I have a lot of anger for myself or a lot of anger for things that I find myself continuously doing or patterns that I keep repeating or things like that. And I'll pull that out.
Yeah.
And so I think the perspective definitely helps. But I do know what you mean. And artists always feel like it's about to be the end for them. For sure.
Sure. Yeah, even someone as prolific as you, that's like weirdly comforting. But there is endless fodder because I don't know about you, but I love learning the same fucking lesson multiple times in a year. And I'll go, oh my God, that's right. I'm supposed to work out and be of service to people. And then I'm happy. And I'm like, I know that. I already know that.
How many times do you have to learn that?
Oh,
No, that pisses me off so bad. Pisses me off. Like for a lot of years, I had a really big people pleasing problem, which I'm trying to figure out, is that a woman thing or a human thing? So maybe y'all could truly tell me, do you think that's a woman thing or a human thing?
I think it's both. I think it's a human thing, but I think societally there's more pressure on women to be perfect and that
agreeable.
likable, all these things. Like men, if they're intimidating, they can still be likable. There's still something that you can be drawn to about them. But if you're a woman, I don't know if you watched the Hillary documentary, but that whole documentary is just like, oh my
watch
God.
it.
You'll love it.
It's
Love it.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
And it's all about that. Like you just see, she can't win.
No
She
matter
just
what she
can't win.
does, it'll be labeled as either she doesn't speak up enough or she's a bitch or, like whatever lane she picks, there's going to be some well-worn female
Judgment.
attack.
Yeah, some ridiculous judgment.
Specific
Like
to
she's
women.
not emotional enough, right? But then if a woman's emotional, then she's hysterical and can't run the country.
Yeah.
She'll,
Irrational.
Yeah, she's hysterical if she has emotions, but if she doesn't have emotions, why doesn't she have emotions? Yeah, y'all can't win at all.
Yeah. It's tough.
So from the man's perspective, because I've said this before that I feel like this is a woman's plight.
Yeah.
And certain men have gotten kind of upset with me, and I can understand how they also could feel like that to some degree. But so I'm just wondering, as a man, Dax, do you feel like that is also a man's plight or not so much?
I certainly know a lot of men that have that kind of codependent people pleaser. And I've seen the people that just can't protect themselves. They can't say no or have a boundary out of the fear that they won't be liked or that all these things. And so I certainly see it in men, but boy, yeah, I think it's definitely, I think there's some nature and there's some nurture in that stew that make women particularly susceptible to that.
Yeah, it's like the body image thing where I think men have body image issues too, of course. But I think there's more societal pressure for women. And it doesn't remove the men's plight or take away that they're going through the same experience. But it's just a matter of the cultural layer is a little different, I think, for women.
Definitely.
I've read a good deal of your book.
That's awesome.
I'm in bed. It's like 11:30. I'm like, oh, I'll read it for 10 minutes and get a feel for what it is. Girl, I could not stop reading it. I swear to God, I stayed up till like 1:30 in the morning. I liked it so much. There were so many things I felt like I really related to. There's some geographic similarities. So like your maternal grandparents are from Michigan originally, right?
Exactly.
And then they moved to Toledo. And then so Kristen's whole family's from Cleveland, and Kristen's father was in radio, then became a news director, and your grandpa was a disc jockey and a news director. Your mom escaped and went to Tisch, right?
Exactly.
And Kristen escaped and went to Tisch.
Oh, wow.
But then the stuff that I felt really connected with was your paternal grandparents, Fafa and Nana, what was it?
Yeah, Fafa and Nana. Yeah.
Yeah, so they lived in Harlem, right? You lived in Hell's Kitchen, and you used to go there like every other weekend on the weekend that probably should have been your dad's, right?
Right. Well, they actually by that time they moved to Long Island. But my nana did live in Harlem, and that's where they met, in Harlem. And then my grandfather wanted to like be the man and get her a house and move her out to the suburbs. And she was so upset because she was like, my apartment in Harlem was bigger than his house.
Yeah.
So yes, but that's exactly it.
So I had dad that wasn't around, and then on his weekends, I went to Papa Bob and Grandma's house. For me, because single mom, struggling, 3 kids.
Yes.
My mom's a beast like your mom.
Yes.
When I went to the grandparents' house, that was the time I got to be a child. They spoiled me. I got to eat macaroni and cheese. They bought me ding dongs. It was all there. I was like, oh, this is what the other kids in my neighborhood are experiencing.
This is it. This is what I've been waiting for. Yeah, there's just another level of love. I mean, it was just another level of ability to love in a different way because everything wasn't so on their back and on their shoulders and heavy and, worried and everything like that. And so even Fafa, I write about him in the book, and he was like this Italian detective dude through and through. Like he would have the fedora and the raincoat and, his piece was always on him. So every time I hug him, it's like I'm holding the gun. I mean, he was just this guy, but he would drive all the way and be there, leaned against the car when I came out the building. And the first thing he was like, that's my girl, every time. And he gave me that like light and that type of welcoming, so I never felt like I wasn't supposed to be there or nobody wanted me. It was like this beautiful love.
And you added one little detail that says everything to me, which was he was early every time.
Oh, he was waiting for me. I didn't have to be like, is Fafa here? Is Fafa here? No, he was there, ready.
Oh, man.
Yeah, because dads are late.
Especially those dads, certain dads tend to be late, and that's okay. I find they come around eventually because my relationship with my father has evolved, and I'm really grateful for it, and I'm glad that we've been able to find a way to really be friends, because at some point I realized, okay, you don't have to be my daddy. Like, we could let that go. But we could actually be friends. We could know each other and get to know who we are as a woman and as a man and, like, respect that.
Yeah, I had a therapist say to me one time, and I'm so grateful he said this. I was like, I'm at the point I think I might be done with this trying to have a relationship with my dad. I get frustrated. I get let down. I'm disappointed, blah, blah, blah. He said, look, it's not about your dad. Are you the type of person that doesn't talk to their dad? Like, forget him. Do you think you're the type of person when people would describe you as like, oh yeah, he doesn't talk to his dad? And I was like, fuck, I think you're right. that I'm the type of person that no matter what would continue to try.
I would reach out. It would be cool. It's like I'm not harboring all of these things.
Yeah.
And I had a similar experience with somebody that shared a perspective like that to me that totally blew my mind, and it changed everything. She said, like, I'm always going to be disappointed. Like, I'm always going to be disappointed. I'm going to ask him to come to the thing. He's going to say he's going to come to the thing, and then he's not going to show up to the thing. And then I tell myself I'm not going to be disappointed because it's fine. I know he's not going to show up, but then he doesn't show up, and then I'm still disappointed, and I'm kicking myself because I'm like, why? You knew that already. I'm just over that. Let's just, like, forget it. And then I turned up to another level when I had kids, because I was like, you know what you're not going to do? You're not going to do this shit to my kids, because that's not happening. You know, so that, like, elevated. And she was like, so why do you keep asking him to do things that you know he's not going to do? And I was like, oh. She was like, it's like you're setting him up to disappoint you. You're like, you know, you have these different friends. You know, you can call this friend for when you need to vent, and you can call this friend for when you need to, like, be to an appointment on time. And like, that's who you call.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Why are you setting him up to not come through for you? It changed everything. Wow. And I was able to look at it from that perspective, and I was like, why am I doing that? Like, I'm trying to punish him or something. And in a way, I was.
Well, and I think people do this in relationships a lot, where they, especially if people that have a hard time accepting that they're loved, they're having a hard time believing they're worthy of love. So then they start creating tests for the person that they can't pass.
That was it. And it was deep. So that changed so much for me. And I was able to start a relationship with him in a new way, based on knowing who he is as a person and accepting who he is as a person. We do this thing where we try to make people who we want them to be, not who they actually are. And so I was able to, like, look at that. And I said, you know what? I'm going to stop asking him to do the thing that he's probably not that great at doing. It's just how it goes. And I'm going to ask him to do the thing that I notice goes well. And when I started doing that, we started to be able to connect, and I felt good. And, you know, so it's so deep.
I thought in the book you did a really good job of being gracious about his position, which was he was 27. This was not a planned pregnancy. He kind of found out when your mom had made the decision, yes, I'm going to keep this baby, right? And so I think you're pretty gracious about recognizing, like, oh, this wasn't his plan per se. So, you know.
It's hard. And who teaches you how to be a parent? At what point do you get the memo, like, okay, here's all the guidelines of how you parent. Nobody knows how to do this shit. It's literally super confusing. It's scary. It's totally a whole new world. And then
the stakes are so high.
You know, it's not like you guys are married and you plan to live the rest of your life together. That's terrifying, because then you're like, oh my gosh, what do I do with that? Right? So I realized, obviously, in the beginning, I was totally, you know, pissed off and heated and all the shit. And I talked about that too, because that's fair. I had a right to feel like that. But I also realized after a while, like, the only person that's angry, heated, and feeling this wrath that you swear you're slinging everywhere is you.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't have a clue that you feel like this. How does he know? He's going off living his life, chilling. I'm sitting here harboring all the anger and like, I'm darkening my spirit, holding on to something. But look, it's all a journey, and it is hard. Not to say any of this is easy. It's layered and all that, but finally getting there, you know, I feel you. And I'm glad that it came off gracious, because, you know, that's how I feel at this time in my life, for sure.
We have a saying in AA, which is having resentments is like drinking poison, hoping your enemy dies.
That's exactly it. That's exactly it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
You're
exactly
like punishing
it.
yourself to get even with them. It's wild.
Deep. That might be a song.
Oh.
I feel like that might be
You don't
a
even need to
song.
credit me. You don't even need to credit me.
All right. No, I'll just credit AA.
Stay tuned for more Armchair Expert, if you dare.
This podcast is brought to you by Squarespace. We've talked before about Rob building our website on Squarespace, and I bring it up again because it's a perfect example of what they do well. Rob had all the pieces, the content, the vision, the ideas, but he needed something to actually take all that and make it public facing. And Squarespace was that bridge. Maybe you're in the same spot. You've been developing something, a business, a skill set, a body of work, and it's been private. It's been yours, but at some point you're ready to put it out there, and that transition from private to public can feel like a huge leap. Squarespace makes it feel like a step. Beautiful templates, built-in SEO, email campaigns, scheduling, analytics, everything you need to go from "I've been working on this" to "here it is, come find me." All in one place, no code, no stitching together a bunch of different tools. So if you've been sitting on something and waiting for the right moment, this might be it. Head to squarespace.com/DAX for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, use offer code DAX to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. You've heard us talk about BetterHelp for a while, but I don't know that we've ever talked about how much people love this service when they use it. BetterHelp has an average live therapy session rating of 4.9 out of 5 based on over 1.7 million client session reviews. And you can check out the reviews yourself at betterhelp.com/reviews to see how much they love BetterHelp. Knowing that kind of service feedback from real people speaks for itself. I'm a huge proponent of therapy, as we've talked about before. I've learned so many things about myself that I believe truly only an outside, objective person could help me come to. BetterHelp makes it easy to get started. Answer a few questions, get matched with a therapist based on your needs, and switch therapists at any time if it's not the right fit. See the reviews, see what stands out, and see if BetterHelp is right for you. Visit betterhelp.com/DAX. That's betterhelp.com/DAX. We get support from Apple Gift Card. Back to school is here, and for many, that means some big life transitions. Whether they are heading into a new grade or setting up a dorm for the first time, you want to give them something that actually supports their growth and success. Apple Gift Card is a versatile solution because it takes the guesswork out of gifting. It's not just about a new pair of AirPods for focus. It's about giving them the invaluable chance to choose the digital tools and subscriptions that suit their unique journey. They can use it for productivity apps on the App Store, movie nights on Apple TV, or extra iCloud storage for all those new memories. With Apple Gift Card, it's so empowering to give the students their freedom to allocate their own resources. Celebrate their new academic chapter. Visit applegiftcard.apple.com to celebrate their milestones and gift one today. We are supported by Walden University. You know that feeling when you've been thinking about making a move, going after the degree, the promotion, the thing you keep telling yourself you'll get to someday? Walden University is built for that moment. For over 50 years, Walden has helped working professionals get the W, the knowledge, the skills, and the confidence to create real change in their careers and communities. Their programs are designed around your life, not the other way around. With tempo learning available in select programs, there are no rigid schedules or set weekly deadlines. You move at your own pace. And Walden's faculty aren't just academics. They're practitioners who bring real-world experience into everything they teach. From your first class to career coaching and beyond, Walden is your partner the whole way. Take the first step and learn at a pace that works for you. Visit waldenu.edu. Walden University. Set a course for change. Certified to operate by Chev. So I've obviously known your music from the beginning, and I'm an enormous fan. I'm not unique in that I think you're just so hyper talented in all these ways, but
Thank you.
it was really interesting to hear your story, particularly for me. It was of great interest. Is just recently I've become obsessed with Whitney Houston. I just stumbled
that's
across
amazing.
one of the documentaries. There's two of them. I don't know if you've seen either of them.
I've seen one. One's like the unapproved, and one I think is the approved. Something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
I just felt, the identity thing, like growing up one way, being sold as another way, being excluded from the black community in a way that was devastating for her, addiction everywhere, like the duality of being this person on stage and then this person, it's Shakespearean. I found it so heartbreaking. I just wanted to rescue that girl. Weirdly, your situation is not that different in that, grew up in a very dicey area in Hell's Kitchen, and then at a very, very young age. I mean, when's the last time you talked to a 19-year-old? I just asked Monica this morning. When's the last time you talked to a 19-year-old?
Well, my husband and I, we have a beautiful blended family. So together we have 5 children.
Oh, okay.
And so he and I have 2 together. And then there's a 11, a 13-year-old, and a 19-year-old.
Oh,
So when I think about him, his name is Nas, and he's also an artist, and he's a producer, and he's writing and stuff. And he's, in a lot of ways, sometimes we're talking, I'm literally talking to like my freaking reflection in some ways, because, you know, he's battling with school and trying to figure out, is that valuable for him, or how much does it take away from his opportunity to do his art, you know, the whole thing that we all trying to figure out as we're going. So I have to say, I speak to a 19-year-old more often than not.
And it sounds like you're talking to maybe the height of that example. And I'm not trying to be disparaging to 19-year-olds. I'm remembering myself at 19. And the notion
Yes.
that at 19 years old, you were, and I guess even prior to that, you had already entered into a record deal with Columbia, right? And they were basically doing to you what they had done to Whitney now. But you were put in a position where you were this amazing songwriter, piano player, singer, and they pretty much just wanted you to sing, and they'd write the songs, and they'd decide what your music was going to be like. It went south, and then you fought, and you said no, and this
19.
bitch at 19 was like, no, I think I'll be writing my own stuff. And
that's amazing.
did it. And I just think, like, I talked to 19-year-olds. How on earth was a 19-year-old able to stay the course and have the confidence in yourself? I
fortitude,
mean,
yeah.
it's really amazing.
I think about that a lot too, and I think about it in 2 ways. The first way I think about it is, there was one person in my life, my manager at the time, his name was Jeff Robinson, who was really on my side. He really, really was. And he knew that I had something special. And he also, you know, just wasn't for the bullshit. And so I think that would have been that much harder for me if he was like, nah, Alicia, you really should probably do what they say. We trying to get this money and we don't want to risk it. I would have probably, maybe, I don't know, it would have been harder for me to find that ability to say, like, I'm fighting through this. But there's been other times later in the future that I had to make my own choice singular with no one else on my side. So I did have that ability to do that. And the second way I think about that is that I think in a lot of ways, and I don't know if you find this too, I find when I reflect back, I was more myself right about that 18, 19, 20 space. I was very clear what I didn't want. I knew it so clearly. There was nothing that could convince me otherwise. I was like stupid enough to not know any better, and you couldn't tell me anyway. And I had no taste of any success or something that would kind of sway me in any way or not. I knew it, and that was it. And I was very clear. Later, I became much less clear, and it became more convoluted.
Well, now I would imagine, I'm just guessing, but once you transfer into a zone where you're trying to protect success versus trying to achieve success, it's dicey, right?
It's so deep. It's so deep. The amount of demons that you're battling, the amount of opinions that you're battling, the amount of self-worth that you're struggling with, the amount of doubt, the amount of people pleasing, because you get into that habit because you're like, well, I got to please them, right? I got to please them. Don't they have to like it? This whole idea of people liking everything you do. And it's a scary, scary, edgy sword that will cut you so bad. And so I think that's exactly it. That crossover between protecting what I had finally achieved and the difference between that and like dreaming was 2 different mental states.
Yeah, I think it's a real weird transition for people, because your first album was so enormously successful, and then of course there's this well-worn kind of pattern. What do they call it? Like the sophomore curse or something, where your second album, especially if the first one's been so successful, can be so overwhelming for a lot of artists that they just either can't write the album, or and the other great cliche is that your first album you had spent 19 years writing, in ways.
The second one, you got like 6 months. Hurry up. Don't you have something to write? Write it.
Yeah, and then that album, Diary, is, by all accounts, just as successful and just as many Grammys and all this stuff, and you really did it. But I am curious, what was the mental space going into the studio after the one album was so fantastic and everyone had celebrated you so much. Well, let me back up even a little further. What is it like to be in a tiny confined area, record these songs, do what you've been doing in your living room since you were 7 years old, playing a piano, and then you shove it off the dock, and then it is 20 million albums sold and all the nominations? Like,
For your
do you
first
feel
album.
fraudulent? Do you feel like, oh, I deserve this? Or do you feel like, holy fuck, am I lucky this can't repeat itself? Like, what happens in that? Can you even enjoy it? Or is it such a big thing to digest?
You know, at the time, it had been so long coming. When I was first signed, I was 15 years old, and then went through the different transitions between the different labels, and things changed on the business side. And I remember this one business manager I had was like, so is that album ever gonna come out or what? I mean, I would get tormented by people who would finally kind of think it was a joke. Like, this is probably not gonna happen for you, huh? I mean, it's been all this time. And I know they were joking, but they had no idea the angst and like acid that put in my throat, you know?
Yeah.
And I started to say, maybe it won't. Maybe it can't. Is it ever? Could I ever? Will it ever?
Well, can I just add, 4 years in a 19-year-old's life is a quarter of
God.
your life. So you know, or whatever, 1/5. So, you know, for you, you've been in that quagmire for a long time.
A long time. And so by the time we found kind of the right version of everything, when Peter Edge and my then manager Jeff Robinson and Clive Davis, and they had to buy me out of the thing, and that was so expensive, and there's like, it was a whole like traumatic. There was no reason why any of this worked out. I mean, truly, I should have just been on somebody's shelf, and that would have probably been it, you know?
Yeah.
So finally, when it came to this place where it was happening, I was so damn thrilled that it was actually happening that I don't remember feeling a large amount of fear or, you know, I don't remember feeling scared about that process. I remember feeling triumphant, like, see, I told y'all asses it was gonna happen. And I felt victorious. And then I think because I knew how long it had taken and how likely it was that it wouldn't, you know, like, you just don't know what's going to happen for you. Like, you don't know. And because I came from a place that was very minimal and we were always living paycheck to paycheck, I was always like so laser focused on whatever I had to do to make this thing work. I would have slept half an hour a day. I didn't give a shit. I would have done anything to just make sure that this thing I'd been working so long at finally arrived. And so I think that I put my head down and strapped my boots on so tight that I didn't see half of the shit. I mean, we would have some amazing thing, the Grammys, 5 Grammys, and the next morning I was at work. I didn't know what it felt like to be like, wow, this is so cool. It was a whirlwind. I don't know where I was half the time. I had no idea. But I think part of that saved me. I didn't have enough time to like pay attention to
Go
whatever.
on that yacht in the Mediterranean and be celebrated.
There was none of that. And you can't afford that shit. Even though I remember the first time I saw a magazine, I was in Europe, and I saw a magazine, and it was the first album and Fallen and the whole thing, and I was in Europe for one of the first times, and everything was exploding. And I saw this magazine, and it said, my picture on the cover, and it said, the $189 million girl. And I said, huh?
Oh,
I was like, huh? Who?
Where's it at?
I wasn't seeing that 189 million. Trust me. So that was the first time it even dawned on me, like the level of monetary, you know what I mean? I didn't even understand what the business was actually accruing.
Well, when you saw that, did you think, A, that's a lie, or B, holy shit, I made that money, where the fuck is it, and I've been robbed?
I didn't quite feel I was robbed. I did know at that time, obviously, you're aware that, you know, you take a share and the other people take the larger share. And finally, you find yourself to a place where you can even those scales because it's like long enough that you can start to equalize it. And I guess I got that. But I was more shocked that was literally the number. I couldn't even fathom that was the enormity of what I was creating.
And can I just add that more than any other product, I think I've said this on here before, but more than any other product, a movie, even if I wrote it, directed it, starred in it, there are so many people involved. But the notion that you literally sat in a room and then out of that, you opened your brain up and your throat up, and then out of that, it created $189 million. That's a very huge concept.
I think that is something that's really special about music, and you're right, that it is so much, because even when I have done film, I'm always in awe. I'm always laughing. I'm like, what? Y'all get weekends off? What is this shit? We don't get no weekends. We don't get any holidays. We're working every New Year's. I'm like, what kind of work is this? Where's the work?
Yeah. It sounds like it's probably was a blessing that you were getting your ass kicked for 4 years, because I bet when it happened, you did feel at least like you earned it.
I did struggle with this question of like, did I deserve it? And I don't know why. I mean, I definitely put my time in. I definitely put my hours in. I definitely put my blood, sweat, and tears in. But I still wondered. I was like, do I deserve all this? And I would talk to my friends who that became strange, because we were living in almost like two different stratospheres just by nature of life. And I didn't know how to share with them what I was experiencing, because I didn't want them to feel anything toward me or left out,
Envy
or as if, I projected that they would treat me this way. And maybe they would have, maybe they wouldn't have, but I chose that they would. And so I never let them fully in. And I think even today I realized I didn't nurture a lot of my own safe spaces, because I was so concerned that they would maybe feel left out or bad or left behind or wouldn't understand, that I didn't have a lot of like community, because I kind of just assumed that they would feel this way. So that's been a new reality for me, that I've realized I maybe shouldn't have done that.
So I relate so much. 2 years ago, my New Year's resolution was to stop putting a negative spin on everything. And I really did track it back to the fact that I have all my friends I grew up with that were all from very modest background. And so if they found out I got this car per se, I'd go, oh yeah, I got this car, but dude, it costs this much to get it covered. And I just add all these bad things onto it. Where it's like, yeah, I got this house, but then blah, blah, blah. And I realized I was coloring my own experience with all of it, because I'm trying to add a shit layer to everything so people aren't mad at me.
So people can relate.
Yeah.
Yo, if I could just give you like a major fucking high five right there, because that is like, that's exactly it. So you feel me.
And I gotta say, the one thing singers have, I don't think people really understand how isolating it is. I think Taylor Swift's documentary, I don't know if you've seen that, but that too was amazing. It's on Netflix right now. It's great. And yeah, you really get a glimpse of the isolation. Because again, especially for what you and she both do, which is like you sit a lot with a piano and you're feeling all this awkwardness with your friendship circle that no one teaches you how to navigate. And they can just get really, really solitary, right?
Yes, very, very. And even like on tour, and I'm a more modest tourer. People tour much more grandly than I. But even I, in a modest touring environment, could employ 100 people. 100 people on tour, easy. And there's only maybe 10 people on stage, but all the stagehands, all the trucks, all the hotels, all the behind the scenes, all the stuff. It'd be like 100 people that I'm employing. And I'm by myself, because, I mean, what? I'm gonna hang out with like the guy who packs up the guitar and puts it, I mean, maybe, but he's working later than me. He breaks the show down. And then, okay, am I gonna chill with the band? I mean, kind of, but then I'm doing like 100,000 meet and greets and they go back to the hotel and they're exhausted. And then I'm on my own bus because it's, better that way. You need some space and you want to have time to sleep and you got your stuff. So it's definitely, oftentimes you're in your hotel room and you're just like, where am I and who am I? And nobody's with me. It definitely can feel very, very, very isolating.
And you say in your book, your life is in two chapters in a way. There's like before that album comes out, and then there's after that album comes out.
Right. You know, the one thing that I think my mother always did really well with me since I was a kid is she was always just, she's like, man, got that pimple on your face, right? It's going to keep you humble. Like, she just was that type of mom. And, you know, just simple things that she would give me a great perspective on, even with just, you know, how to treat other people was just based off of how do you want to be treated? Like, would you like that if someone did that to you? And she would ask me like a 6, 5, 7, that's how you would like that if someone did that to you? And I would be like, I guess not. I think because it was just her and I, and because we were so loners and having to make it all, figure it out together, she definitely gave me those jewels that lasted a long time. And I think gave me that stability even through the mayhem and the chaos and all the weirdness that naturally kind of is created from this world. I feel like I always knew how to maintain the sanity. And I'm really grateful for that, because if I, to the point of Whitney and the addictions and different people, you know, if I did have more of that energy around me, I can easily see how you're led that way.
It sounded like Mom, basically, you were obviously her child, but also, hey, we're teammates in this. We're in Hell's Kitchen. There's a shitload of stuff going on right outside the door. So there's an expectation. I know my mom sat me down and was like, hey, you're kids, but it's the 4 of us in this. So either we're all going to survive or we're not going to, and you guys are going to play a big role in that. And it's, you know, in one way, I of course resent it that I wish I had a more carefree childhood. But then in another hand, I was, like you say in your book, like always a little older than I was numerically. And
in real
that,
life.
Yeah, that became a value. And there's a competence I feel, or a self-dependence that I have that I'm grateful for.
Same. I'm really glad about that, because stuff gets weird. And if you crazy too, and there's no coming back, you know what I mean? So I'm grateful.
Now, your mom wasn't a singer, but she was an actress. Did it ever get dicey that like you were kind of, you know, doing the thing clearly she had set out to do?
You know, I never personally felt that. I do know that there's surely kind of competitive natures between mothers and daughters, and just overall just the relationship can kind of be a little bit interesting or strained, and she is definitely a very strong-minded human. Like whatever she says is right, and don't even think about challenging that or having another opinion. Like, do yourself a favor and just agree. So I think that was a very difficult energy to navigate for me in a lot of ways, just being super young. And as a young human, you know, of course, you listen to your parents, of course, and then starting to develop that muscle of having my own opinion, I think in some ways didn't develop that well, because it was like this other opinion was so loud.
Yeah.
But I always felt like me kind of living our dream, kind of, in a way. I definitely did feel like, in a way, she worked so hard for me to like pick up the baton. And I do truly feel like that, you know, even getting us, you know, out of a small town and coming here, and all the things that she did in pursuit of her dream was the reason why I was able to have mine. Yeah.
Now you, and I hope I don't bastardize it, because I'm not going to be able to recite it as beautifully as you did, but the book starts with you being 7 and your mom picked you up in a cab, which was really rare. You guys didn't travel by cab, but she had an audition, then she picked you up from school, and it was like crazy cold out, and then you guys get to a traffic light, I don't know, somewhere around Broadway maybe-ish, and you see a few women outside that are in mini skirts, fishnet stockings, high heels. They are not dressed for that environment. And you ask your mom, why are those ladies dressed like that? And your mom, in this very beautiful way, without getting into the details of them being sex workers or anything, basically says, people will do what they have to do
to survive. Yeah, right.
And you thought to yourself in that moment at 7, I never will let myself be in a situation where I am exposed and vulnerable like that. That's a commitment you make at 7 years old, right?
I remember it so clearly.
Despite that, right? This is why I can so relate to you. Like to have a notion of who I'm going to be, and then to find out I wasn't that at times is so soul crushing. So the first time you explain is you were doing some modeling work and you did like a circular, like a catalog, and it was you in underwear and you were young. And at the time you're like, oh yeah, okay, this is whatever. Not even thinking about what it meant. And then the thing came out and you realize, Jesus, there I am. I'm exposed, I'm vulnerable, and everyone my age can see this, and it's in the world, and it's now completely out of my control. And you're like, oh, that's weird. I guess I did that. And then the one that even gets more heartbreaking is that your first magazine opportunity tied to the release of your first album, you go there, the photographer basically, cleverly gets all your team out of there so that no one's there to protect you, and starts pushing you. Oh, maybe the pants are unbuttoned. Maybe the shirt's this, maybe this. And then you leave, and then what you see on the cover is you covering your breasts with your arm, pants unbuttoned. And you said it made you puke when you saw it, and just the devastation of, wow, that's the opposite of what I wanted. It's the fucking thing I said that would never happen to me. That's so powerful. And I'm glad you can admit that someone that's smart and competent and has conviction, we can still end up there.
Getting
so
taken
comforting.
advantage of.
Yeah, and you, it's true. Oh my gosh, it's so true. And thank you for, recapping that so beautifully. It was cool to hear you put it together like that, because it's just, you don't know how you get where you are, I think. And suddenly you're there, and you thought you would never be there, and there you are. And I think that in a way, I realized that had to happen, and it had to happen early. The universe, whoever, had to show me, like, this is what happens. This is what happens. That this is how it goes. And if you don't create some boundaries for yourself, and you don't create some type of check-in with your whatever you want for you, God only knows where it can go. So it's part of the growth, it's part of the process that helps us to figure out who do we actually want to be, and at what point will you actually stand up for yourself. Because it wasn't like he was touching me. He didn't do anything physically to me that would make me like, don't, get away from me. It wasn't that. It was like this mental thing.
Slow little steps. This is a little uncomfortable. Now this is a little comfortable. And in its totality, if you walked in and he said, here's the game plan, by the end of this, you're going to have your shirt off and your pants on, but you'd go, no, I'm out.
like, nah.
But it's the baby steps, right? That's what's so painful, is all the little spidey senses where you're like, and then they just walk you down a path, right?
It's ill. It is very interesting. And to this day, I, really, really work on trusting that gut. Like that whole gut check thing, where even if it's just the smallest thing that's raising its finger, like, I don't really like this. Something about this is weird. And even if I can, and I'm so good, like we all are, at talking the sense into it. No, it's not like that. The only reason why you feel like that is because that person's a little bit aggressive, and it'll be fine. And they might just had a bad day. And I sit here and talk myself into or out of that gut check. And so I really work very hard daily right now to say, like, that was the first thing that came to you. Listen, like, there's a reason why that came up for you. So stop trying to make it okay. So that's a hard process.
Yeah, and I think, well, one, I love that you make a point to say, I'm not against nudity. I'm not against any of this. What I'm against is being sold one thing and delivered another, which I think we can all relate to. But I do wonder if what made you vulnerable to that situation, if any of it was, you're 19, man. You're trying to fake it till you make it a little bit. Like you got to embody a pop star. So you're kind of like, oh yeah, I'm down. Oh yeah, I got this. I know, like, part of that fraudulent thing that I think we all carry a little bit is like, I know that when I've been in that situation, I've regretted some of the things. Mostly it was because I was trying to act like I knew what was up. Like, oh yeah, I get that.
And I think the other thing that I dealt with a lot of, and again, this is another daily practice that I'm constantly working on, is this thought that everybody knows better than me. Because I was such a shorty, I was such a baby, and I was like, well, he knows. I mean, shoot, he shot some of the most incredible people on the planet. Like, why wouldn't he know what looks good. And you're standing there, you feel awkward as hell, just period. Like anytime someone throws a camera in your face, I'm like, you feel crazy. There's no natural version of that at all. And so you're trying to like find a pose, find a position. Like, is my mouth right? Is my like hips right? Like, is my shoulder, like, what do I do? And so if the person's kind of like, a little this, a little that, try this, take that down, put that up. You're kind of like, oh, well, they must know, right? And so this idea of everybody knowing more than you, I think, is something we also all struggle with, as opposed to being like, no, I do know what's good for me. You don't know what's good for me. I know what's good for me. And that went on for a long time for me, thinking that since everyone had more experience, and I was 1,000% faking it I pretended I knew what I was doing until I believed it, you know? And definitely, please, hope everyone else does too. And that was a big setback from that, because I figured other people knew more than I would.
This should not at all ever be mistaken for the notion of poor us. You got to do the thing you love. I got to do the thing I love. I don't think anyone's complaining about that. I appreciate the honesty with what the reality of it is. So the other part that was so poignant is you being on tour. You've been on tour forever. You're in a new city every single day. This notion that you might see something or experience it is a fairy tale. You don't. You leave one airplane to get in one bus to get on one backstage, and they all look the same, and it's just endless. In the meantime, when you're not doing that, you're doing sometimes 2-3 photo shoots a day, and the requests are they're never ending. And you have this, probably the same that my wife, that she has and I on some level have, which is, I don't want this ride to stop. I can't let it stop. If I dare turn down this one photo shoot, that might lead to me becoming apathetic and checked out, and I can't keep this thing going. But, you know, you just described this moment of being backstage in this little cinder block box, and your day-to-day manager, who I believe has been your friend since you were 4 or something, comes in and you're crying and you're just like, I just need it to stop. And yet the fear of it stopping and going away.
Right.
I mean, what a catch-22 to be in if you're buying into that logic.
Which you don't know any other way of thinking about it, because no one else that you ever met has had this experience. So it's not like you can go to somebody and be like, hey, you remember when you kind of were first getting started? Did you feel like, no, you don't know anybody that's been through this? The mentorship, although you might be meeting people, and surely you're like in awe that you're in the same room with certain people, but you guys don't have a relationship at this point. And so there was definitely, who do you ask about how does this go? Or is this normal? Or is this not normal? Or is it too much? Or is it just right? Or is this just how it is? There's no one to ask. So in so many ways, you kind of are winging it. And most of the time, as we all do, we subscribe to that messaging that, you know, oh, well, you know, there's 100 other people ready to replace you. You know, hey, 100 other people wish they were you right now. And you know that. You're like, shit, I know, because I'm the 99th person. I just happened to maybe come over to this side for 2 seconds. And so you know that, and you know that, you know, this is a dream many people would want to achieve. So it is definitely so interesting what you bring up, I think, is that point of, at what point do you start to create boundaries for yourself, which I think is very important in any life, anyone. This is not singular to an entertainment industry or anything like that. There's a part of us that, especially like American us, that is very, very, if we're not burning the candle at both ends, if we're not dying from exhaustion, if we're not, you know, completely outworking, you know, undersleeping everyone else we know, that we're not going to be successful, and we're not going to make it, and we're not doing enough. And at what point do we start to, one, think about ourselves in regards to our health and our mental health, and caring for your temple, which is your body, and just your mind and your soul and your spirit. And we're just not taught those things. We are not encouraged to do it. And it's not a habit that we're encouraged to make. So I think that moment that you're describing in the book was really, I still didn't know how to do it. And I still totally thought, shoot, if I take a break, I just couldn't, it was a breakdown. I couldn't take it anymore. I couldn't do one more moment of anything. I had to go. I had to flee. But there was still that moment where it's like, I probably won't even come back to any of this. It was just that I couldn't tolerate it anymore, so it didn't matter at that point. But This idea of balance and this idea of having some space, I think is a big deal for all of us. Doesn't matter if you're a lawyer or if you're a medical practitioner or whomever that you are, we all do this thing where we think we have to overwork to be successful.
Well, and then Dax talked about his New Year's resolution from 2 years ago, and mine was to stop answering "How are you?" with "Great, I'm busy." Because it is like everyone's go-to, because like you said, it feels like you're not worthy or productive if you're not burning the candle at both ends, if you're not busy all the time, if you don't have a million things going on, if you're not overworked, you feel like you're not good enough or you're not doing enough. And I was like, that's a problem that we're all going around saying, I'm so busy, I'm so busy, I'm so busy.
So true. And we don't take care of ourselves.
Oh, I think anyone who's got a boss knows what it's like to get an email during dinner time and feel like you have to be available to these people long after you've left work. Every friend I have deals with that. There's actual studies and data about employers respect employees with boundaries more than they respect. So at first you think you're unlikable and you're not cooperative, but it does turn out that it elevates you in people's mind that you care enough about yourself to have boundaries. It demonstrates that you have value for yourself, and then now I see you as having value.
Right. I'm enjoying this this is too good. Let me tell you, this whole podcast world it's good. I didn't realize it was this good. The reason why it's so good is because everything else is such a damn rush. Like, you going on Jimmy Kimmel or James Corden, and like you got 5 minutes or less to tell like the funniest story you could possibly tell and try to relate to whoever you can, and then get the hell on and do the quick song and bye. And you don't ever have like a moment to go deeper and express. And so this is really cool. I see why y'all like it, and I'm really happy to be a new converted lover of this space.
Thank you.
So thank you too, and thank you and I think the other thing is people don't even seem like they care to ask you anything that's layers deeper. It feels like you are interested, so that's really cool.
Thank you.
Stay tuned for more Armchair Expert, if you dare.
This episode is supported by Helix. All right, let's talk about something we both really care deeply about: sleep.
It's the most important thing. I've had my Helix mattress for years now, and I genuinely think it's one of the best investments you can make for your home. Mine still feels just like it did when I first got it.
Well, that's the thing. It's not one of those mattresses that caves in after 6 months. These things are built to last. And I'm a side sleeper. I ordered a side sleeper and I get hot, so I have cooling. And I can't tell you how much more comfortable it is to be in there, not sweating and tossing and turning.
Cooling is really important. I've read that you're supposed to sleep a little bit cold.
Mm-hmm.
So I also have cooling. And they have over 20 models, so it's not a one-size-fits-all situation. You just go take their quiz and they match you to what actually works for your body.
Plus, they've got cooling upgrades, which heading into summer, non-negotiable.
Truly.
Go to helixsleep.com/armchair for 20% off. That's helixsleep.com/armchair for 20% off. Make sure you enter our show name after checkout so they know we sent you. helixsleep.com/armchair. This episode is brought to you by SoFi, the all-in-one finance app where you can bank, borrow, and invest all in one place.
Let's talk bank accounts for a second. The average bank savings rate is 0.39% in interest. You're earning pennies on your savings, but it does not have to be that way.
With SoFi high yield checking and savings, the money barely making moves sitting in your savings account can earn over 8 times the national average savings rate with eligible direct deposit.
No account or overdraft fees, which feels rare these days. You can get your paycheck up to 2 days early, perfect for getting ahead of a bill or grabbing what you need right when you need it.
Plus, get up to a $300 welcome bonus when you sign up with eligible direct deposit. Sign up for SoFi checking and savings at SoFi.com/armchair. SoFi checking and savings is offered through SoFi Bank N.A., member FDIC. Terms apply. This episode is brought to you by ServiceNow. Look, I have my dream job. I get to talk to folks I admire like crazy and ask them virtually any question that I want to. I can't imagine a better way to spend my time. But even dream jobs have some not so dreamy parts, the stuff that gets in the way of the actual work. Now, that's where ServiceNow's AI specialists come in. They don't just tell you what you should do about your busy work. They actually do it, start to finish. Cases closed, requests handled, no extra work for you. So you and your team can focus on what matters most, which for me is, are they obsessed with male bodies on the same level as I am?
They never are.
To learn how to put AI to work for people, visit servicenow.com.
Living your best life means being extra where it counts and skipping the extra where you don't need it. Like in your cleaning products. That's where Seventh Generation comes in. Their bio-based cleaning power delivers a powerful clean with nothing extra in the bottle. Need a dish soap that cuts through the tough grease? A detergent that tackles the worst stains and odors? Seventh Generation handles it all without any dyes or artificial fragrances. Real clean doesn't have to come with a long list of add-ons. Upgrade to a powerful clean without anything extra. Look for Seventh Generation dish soap and laundry detergent wherever you shop for your cleaning products.
I wonder what the emotional component was for you. Did you have a moment where you grew up in Hell's Kitchen in Manhattan, most densely populated city in America? I grew up in rural, I'm just going to say white trashiness. But what's
Okay.
similar
Got
is
you.
that all the dudes hanging in the neighborhood who had no jobs to go to, everyone had a hustle. Everyone was trying to get something. And I was
Yes,
overtly
yes.
aware that everyone wanted something of mine. And I wonder, was there a moment where you recognized, oh, all these people that are, quote, managing me or guiding me or are my label president or all this, oh, they just the same hustlers that I knew to have my guard up for as a kid, but I let the wolves in the hen house. Did you have any emotional moment where you're like, oh, fuck, they're just hustling too, and they're just trying to get everything from me too? And what does that feel like? Does it feel like betrayal? Does it feel like heartbreak? Do you expect it?
I think that I have been blessed to have some people who really did genuinely want to protect me, I think. I really do. I think that they did want the best for me. They did want to save me from what they knew was such a dirty, greasy, grimy, take type of business. And then kind of spit you out like, oh, I got what I want from you and you're finished now to me, you know? So there's so much of that energy in this space that they did want to protect me. I think that, of course, by nature, it's difficult because you are putting together a friendship and business. And I actually do believe that friendships and business can excel and can work. I'm not of the like mind, like separate friends and business. I don't think it always has to be like that. I truly know you can be friends and do good business.
Well, I live with my co-host, so
See, so that'll tell you everything you need to know. But I think that it also, by nature, it does make you have to be more aware, I think, because I think later I started to realize that a lot of the things that I even thought were my dreams were other people's dreams that I was executing for them.
yeah.
And a portion of that is a beautiful exchange. You know, I help you reach your dreams, you help me reach my dreams. Together, we're all growing. There's balanced state. There's surely something really good that comes from that. In an unbalanced state, it starts to be, I think, deceiving as to, does a person really want this for you or do they want this for whatever it might be?
Yeah.
And I think that's where it becomes so necessary for you to have your kind of gut in check and for you to have clarity about what you need and what brings you happiness, because you can find yourself taken away by all these things that are, you know, motivating people for reasons that might not always be in your best interests. And you might have not even totally realized it.
So I did find that I had to start to become more aware of that, where I would probably be a little bit more trusting because I was like, but this is mine, he's been with me for, and we got such a, and look at, we're doing so, and also still be awake to the fact that, okay, but what do you need? And making sure that it's okay, that you're good with that. And then if it all adds up, then great. Everybody can get what they need and it's all cool. But you can get lost in it, I think, sometimes.
Well, isn't the overriding fear really for all of us that if I have these boundaries, if I create this hurdle for somebody, that might be the thing that I find out, oh, they didn't love me that much, that we think we have to be totally available for somebody, doing it on their terms in order to deserve their love, when we're just nervous to find out that if we have this hurdle or this boundary that someone might bail out. Isn't that like at the bottom of it all?
That resonated with me. And since so much of our lives, because of our different experiences and the different bruises and wounds we're trying to nurse all the time, with abandonment is at the root of so much of what fuels us or what gives us that level of fear or that underlying tone that we don't even realize. And I think that, yes, because abandonment has definitely been something that I'm pretty sure 99.9, if not 100 of us have all experienced in some way, there is that fear of like, will you stay if I don't agree with you? Like, would you actually be okay if I don't think that same thing? And like I said, with my mother, it's always been such a, a hard opinion where it was kind of like, if I didn't agree, it would be so much to even deal with that I was just like, you know what? I'm going to agree so that we can just move on. And I think a lot of that trained me to do things sometimes that maybe didn't always stand up for my own truth. And that becomes tricky because then you get into that place where it's like, well, maybe you're the only stability I have in this thing. And so, of course, we're all looking for security.
Okay, so the last thing I want to say to you is, as I said, I'm in AA. The thing I love about AA is that all the life lessons I've picked up have been from someone telling me how they failed, not how they were victorious. It was them going, I fucked up in this way. And I go, oh, I see you. I do that same thing. And now my ears are open. So I think what you've done with this book, more myself, I think it's so brave of you to be vulnerable and go, I'm Alicia Keys. I'm in my late 30s. I'm a millionaire and I've got more Grammys than fucking teeth in my mouth. And I can't say who I am. And I have a fear of being true to who I am. So for all the other women or young men or whatever who find that to be a challenge, you admitting that that's a challenge for you is very powerful. And I think it's very cool of you. It's a very cool way to be of service. So I'm really happy for you that this is the book you wrote.
I really appreciate those words. My favorite part was you saying you was going to curl up in the bed and read 10 minutes just to, have some perspective. And then you got stuck in the vibe for like a couple hours. That is so amazing. And I really do hope that's the experience of the people that are reading this. And I'm so grateful that I have been able to come to a place, and, it seems you too, and we have been able to come to a place that I can embrace the parts of me that are wounded and not totally whole or full of self-doubt. And by my journey of embracing those things, I feel so much more open. I feel so much more human. I feel so much more of a connection with people that in a lot of my life, I don't think I allowed myself to have, because there were all these masks and all this armor and all these mechanisms that I thought were kind of keeping me strong and allowing me to plow through the stone wall, and I am just so grateful to be at a place now where it's like, actually, all those other parts are the parts that are rich and full of complexity and interesting and make you so nuanced and beautiful and complex and gorgeous, and like that is what makes us understand each other. So it's so much more freeing to just honor you. And I love that we're all trying to figure that out.
Well, again, I can't relate to winning Grammys or opening my mouth and Coltrane sax comes out. but all the vulnerability shit, I was like, oh, I know this person. There's a big part of me that's this person. So I just thank you for it, man. I hope we get to talk to you again. I would love to do it in person so I can see what that how that hat pops in real life.
I'll try to wear another hat when I meet you in person. I might have this same hat though. This is my favorite hat, so
It's a good one.
You know.
All right, Alicia. Well, we love you and thank you for taking the time.
Thank you.
And we really hope to
Same.
talk to you again.
Thank
And
you
your
so much. I
FaceTime
can't
game
wait
is
to see us
your
soon.
FaceTime is tight. It's good FaceTime
tight.
game. Yeah.
Come on. And you know what? You're right about you too. I doubted you for about 3 minutes, but you were right.
All right. Be
Y'all
safe.
Be safe. All right. Talk to you later. All right.
All
Bye.
And now my favorite part of the show, the fact check with my soulmate, Monica Padman. This entire fact check is sponsored by Quibi.
It is. We are excited.
I have already consumed one of the shows from Quibi, Flipped,
Flipped.
with Caitlin Olsen and Will Forte, two of my favorite comedians alive.
Oh, we love those guys. They've both been on the show.
They have, and both of them together,
Unbelievable.
for real.
Yeah.
I mean, you want to talk about greater than some of their parts, and each of their individual parts are humongous.
This
I think
is true.
Caitlin's one of the funniest human beings working in television or film.
Will too.
And Forte is obviously
Genius.
a genius. It's so good. I just love it. And so, if for people who don't know what Quibi is a brand new streaming platform, and it delivers movie quality episodes in 10 minutes or less. So it's really kind of designed for people to watch on their phone, which initially I was like, really?
Yeah.
Making content for phones specifically? But the stuff is so high end.
Yes.
Like all the shows they have on there, like if you've seen this, The Most Dangerous Game with Liam Hemsworth, it looks like a huge blockbuster movie. But it's in 10-minute segments, which I love because it's so bingeable.
It's really exciting because you get a new episode every day. So you have something to look forward to, which we love because we always get nervous that our things are running out.
Yes.
And we hate that.
Yes, that's true. So what's great is they look like huge blockbuster movies. Even Flipped, which is a comedy, is shot beautifully. Yes, so every one of them looks phenomenal. They all have huge actors. There's like tons of fun shows. And what I like too about it is they're not launching with like two things.
Sure.
This is a ton of content
It is.
with huge stars of every kind of genre.
Yeah, so we don't feel scared that we're not going to have enough. And your wife, my mother, was in a show. She was in Thanks a Million, which is Jennifer Lopez's show. And it's amazing. Kristen was, when we first got like the offer for it, was like, I cannot believe I did not think of this idea. It's
It
so,
should. Yep.
it's
So
a-
she got $100,000. Is that what it was?
Yep.
To give to somebody, which she gave it to this educator we know who totally deserves it, and then that person has to give half of their money to someone else they think deserves it. It's really, really cool. Anyways, you guys, I have Quibi. You can go right now and download and get a 90-day free trial. It has a ton of fresh original shows. New episodes come out every day. I love it. Commence Facky. How much did you leave in of us singing her music before she got on
None.
Zoom? None?
Yeah.
Okay, well, a fun thing we did was while we were waiting for her to join the Zoom call, I just put on some of her greatest hits
Yeah.
on the iPacs, and we sang along waiting for her.
She's so prolific.
She is. I even forgot some of the songs. I'm going to be dead honest with you. I wanted to get Diary of, right? That's the song I like that she says, baby boy.
Yeah, you like that one.
And in the process, I'm zooming past all these other songs where I'm like, oh, yeah, that's a giant hit. That's a giant hit. Oh, that's a great song. That's a giant hit. You feel me?
I love her.
I'm in love with her.
I already loved her, and now I'm in love with her. I really did. I was already such a huge fan, and then she was so special, thoughtful,
Normal?
very normal, very
Yeah.
down to earth.
That's what I want to say mostly. She's normal.
Yeah.
Good job, Alicia. Set out to be spectacular, and you're normal.
No, she's both. She's both spectacular and normal. I just think, yeah, such an uphill battle when you're starting at such a young age in this industry and in the entertainment industry and fame and all that stuff. It's so much to balance for a young
At
person.
19?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have been dead. No question.
Yeah.
Yeah. Too much money, too much problems. more money. You know.
I know how.
Well, you've seen the tattoo on my back. More money, more problems. The small of my back.
I wouldn't even be surprised if that were the case.
I would like that, yeah.
Are you gonna get any more tats?
If I didn't act, I'd have a lot more. It's just too big of a pain in the ass to get them covered at
Yeah.
work. Like if I were to play the Joe Exotic,
Sure.
I'm going to be there an hour and a half earlier getting this whole thing covered on my shoulder.
Do you think he had any tats of tigers?
I have to assume so. If he didn't, that would be ridiculous. Like
Maybe,
I've got
maybe
car
he had
tattoos.
a strict policy to not have any tats.
Mixed business with
yeah.
pleasure.
Yeah.
A couple updates. One is, I guess, Joe from somehow behind bars has made a statement that he wants either Brad Pitt or David Spade to play him in the biopic.
He did?
Yeah,
I
do you
didn't
know
hear
this?
that.
What a wide range. I love it.
Well, everyone
It's like-
wants Brad Pitt to play them, so that's just
Yeah, that goes. I guess everyone wants. I would want Brad Pitt to play me, even though my story wouldn't make a ton of sense if he was playing me.
Like I want Charlize to play me. You know?
Oh, you do?
Not really.
If anyone could do it, if anyone could pull off brown face
no,
in a
no,
non-offensive way,
I don't think she.
it'd be her because she turned into Monster. Remember Monster? She
Yeah,
played.
she's very transformative.
Yeah, very
So your best friend Aaron Weekly is here. He's leaving tomorrow. How do you feel?
sad.
Yeah.
I've been having so much fun laughing at absolutely nothing. None of our jokes translate to anyone else because you guys are constantly around and we are just laughing so hard about the same four things. And they're just not funny to anyone else, which I accept. But boy, are they funny to us. Almost every single thing becomes about bass and mackerel and steelhead and sturgeon.
Well, that's true. Most things lead to fish. But I agree that generally feels pretty insular when you guys are in it.
Yeah. It doesn't feel inviting.
Not really.
Yeah. It's hard because I don't know if anyone thinks any of that's funny.
I can only speak for myself.
Yeah, speak for yourself. Speak for yourself.
I think it's funny for 6 seconds. But then generally you guys like to turn it into 6 minutes.
At least, yeah.
Minimally.
My brother hated us. When we discovered each other, we would sit in the basement. I remember one time in particular, he came downstairs and we were laughing at a slice pop can, just looking at the circle on it and thinking what it was saying and all this stuff. And we were really, really laughing hysterically. And he came downstairs and he's like, "What are you doing? Fucking laughing at a pop can? You guys are full of shit. You're not really laughing." He screamed at us
He
and
got
we weren't
upset.
really laughing. Yeah. Somehow it was all a charade.
I think he probably felt left out.
Well, now that I'm 45, I think it's sweet. I think he did feel left out.
Yeah.
And he and I used to have those jokes. And then all of a sudden there was a new guy around who had
Sure.
them. But he didn't really, he was in and out because he's 5 years older than me.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
he only wanted to have inside jokes with me like one day a week. Well, I
Yeah.
wanted them 7 days a week.
Of course.
Yeah.
I do think it's really cute and fun and funny to be around you guys because this summer we were around, you guys around each other a bit, but it felt different. Maybe the amount of time wasn't as concentrated or something. I don't know, but it felt different. So it feels like I'm really peeking in to your relationship and it's very cute.
It is. Isn't that mostly annoying?
No, it's cute.
It just feels very excluding.
It feels a little excluding.
Yeah, which you know is not my intention. I want
know.
everyone on board.
Oh,
I
I
wish
know.
everyone thought the pills. So there are goop pills called Why Am I So Effing Tired?
Yeah, and they are good. They work.
They work. And Kristen gave some to Weekly, and then he was taking them. He loved them. And then he happened to read on the bottom that it was chocked full of sardines and mackerel and all these fish.
Yeah.
Yeah, then we just started talking about how many bass are in each pill, and there's a 12-inch bass in every pill. And then I recognize that's not fun for anyone else, but for us, it's very fun.
But I was there for the beginning of that conversation when it started, and it was fun. But then
we just beat it into.
well, you just took it to a new level. But then it felt once it hit that like, oh, there's no place for me in this conversation anymore. So then I'm just sitting there watching you guys do a thing for 10 minutes, and then I had to get
right.
up and leave.
Yep. Yeah. I recognize it. I don't really know what to do. What would you do if you were me? Because it's
nothing.
really funny for me. Oh, our newest one, right, is a gangbanger who cares a lot that his friend pursues his artistic dreams. Have you been listening to that one? That's the one that took over the last couple days.
Okay.
And it was like a gangbanger, and he really appreciated Hector's contributions to the life into gangbanging, but he noticed he's really good at comedy and he should do an open mic night at the Laugh Factory. And what's funny is that this gangbanger knows all the names of the different places. So he knows about Broadway. Uh-huh. Yeah. And then the more he knows about it, the funnier it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
That's funny.
They don't get funnier when I explain them.
This is a broader question, but do you think when you're around him, do you think you feel more childlike?
Oh, big time. Yeah. I feel 12 years old when I'm around him. Mm-hmm. Yeah, which I like.
Yeah.
He's also being textbook weekly. He is who he is since he was 11.
Yeah.
Which is, now he has 2 puppies. He has no business having these puppies.
Oh,
it's
they're
such an errand.
so cute.
Textbook weekly. He ended up with 2 puppies that he now is taking care of and realizing, oh shit, this is a ton of work.
They're so cute.
They are cute, but that's the sweetest part about him is he's anything that sounds like a good idea. Yeah. We're opposite in that way.
Oh, interesting.
I would have went straight to the 6 a.m. them whining and shitting
course.
everywhere. I'm like arrested or confined by too much frontal lobe thinking.
Mm-hmm, me too.
Yeah. And he's just like, yeah, if they look cute in that moment, let's get them. We'll worry about the rest later.
He's a very nice boy.
He is. He's the sweetest, right?
Yeah,
His
he
essence is just sweetness.
Okay, Alicia.
Okay, Alicia Keys.
Okay, so you said that I'd been living at the house for a month before quarantine, but it had not been a month.
They hadn't.
No.
How long
About
had it?
2 weeks.
That's it?
Yeah.
When I left for Colorado?
2, yeah.
I've never had less of a grip on time than I currently have.
I know. I think everyone feels that. No one knows what day it is.
No.
What's going on?
No.
Thank God they extended that tax deadline.
Oh, right.
'Cause
It's
nobody
June now.
knows what.
Yeah, people would not. They would have missed it unintentionally.
Where's our calendar?
Right behind the curtain.
Oh, it's lost. We got to move it to April.
We do.
I want to see who it is.
Me too. What choice male body?
Okay, so which Whitney Houston doc is the official one? The Miramax one is the official one. That's the one that the family was
participating
in. You know, that was directed by Kevin MacDonald, who did Last King of Scotland.
Which one?
Miramax.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I love him.
I know you like that movie.
He's a very prolific commercial director in England.
Oh.
Prior to doing Last King of Scotland. I used to know about him.
Well, we just watched Bad Boys.
Yeah, the third one.
Which is not directed by Kevin MacDonald.
No, nor is it directed by Michael Bay, which was a shock to me.
But it was fun.
It was. It was very Michael Bay. It was
I
good.
was
It was good.
surprised. I was really surprised.
Yeah, you were surprised you loved it. And then we watched the first one. We went back to watch the first one. We haven't finished it yet.
Yeah.
But I'm really excited. This is all leading to the second one. That's the one where they had a humongous budget.
That's your favorite.
Obnoxious budget. Just visually, stunt-wise, that movie's hard to beat.
Will Smith. He is so charming.
He is.
Man.
And Martin Lawrence is so funny.
So funny.
Some people can just say words.
Yeah.
You know, there's certain people that, like, you don't even need to really write a joke. Just let them say a sentence and it'll be hysterical.
Yeah.
Because so many of Martin's lines, I think, were intended to be just exposition. And then they're so funny.
Yeah. Yeah. Blessed. Hashtag blessed.
Hashtag blessed. Blame it on Jesus.
Hashtags.
Hashtag blessed. Blame it on Jesus.
Anyway, so Miramax, and then the Showtime one, actually they got sued by Bobby Brown.
Oh.
And the estate of Bobby Christina Brown, because they used footage of the reality series being Bobby Brown, and they were saying that they didn't have permission to do that.
Oh, okay. Documentaries have weird laws. You don't have to get the rights for music. If, like, you're filming someone in real life on the street and, like, the bodega behind it is playing Michael Jackson, you're fine.
Really?
Yeah, so there's all these weird loopholes. So I wonder, like, when it comes to showing trademarked footage and stuff, if they have some kind of leeway. I don't know.
Okay, you said, what do they call it? The sophomore curse, sophomore slump.
Oh, sophomore slump.
Sophomore slump.
Okay.
She talked about mother and daughter relationships being hard.
Yeah.
And I was looking up why that is. And there are like a lot of articles and a lot of delving into that question, which I thought was interesting. And because it is real.
Oh, yeah.
It's so real.
Well, but I think it's the same for fathers and sons. I think like both same-sex parent-child relationships are wrought with potential.
Yeah.
Because for guys, there's like this weird alpha tension. Like, who's going to be the leader of this family? When is the son old enough to not be told what to do? It sounds different when his dad's telling him not to do something. It sounds like a challenge to his manhood.
Sure.
There's all this weird autonomy stuff that you need to get from dad more than mom.
That's interesting. One thing that people were saying, which I thought was interesting, was that women's rights are changing so rapidly that from like generation to generation, they're really different.
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
So girls aren't just going to follow in line with what their mother did or what their grandmother did because things are changing so much.
Yeah, they might reject the lifestyle the mom had.
Exactly.
And the mom might feel judged by that. I think that happened with my
Exactly.
mom and her mom.
Yeah. So, some articles I saw were crediting that as being an issue, which I think really makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. It's weird, and I'll not be able to relate to this, but I do think in some ways, like some dads have built some steady, great business that they work their ass off for, right? Let's say they've got like a family roofing company and they've got some employees and some trucks and the tools, and then you got this son, and you want to hand over this thing you work so hard to your son, and then you find out your son wants to play guitar in bars,
Yeah.
which seems so high risk, and you're scared for the son.
And you did all this really for the son.
Yes, to hand over something turnkey. And then they don't want it. It feels like, A, you don't appreciate this thing I built for you. And then B, you're scaring me by this other choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all complicated.
It's complicated.
I could imagine, though, I know nothing about Alicia's mother. I don't know if they have any issues whatsoever. But let's just say I can imagine if you're Alicia's mother, who was raised in Toledo, Ohio, her dad did not want her to go pursue acting. She moved, to New York. She did it on her own.
Yeah.
And now she has this daughter. And now she gives her daughter the childhood she wanted, which is, yes, let's put a piano in the middle of this one-bedroom apartment, and let's
Yeah.
dedicate your life to this. And I'm going to support this like crazy. And then your daughter gets this thing that you maybe wanted.
Yeah.
And you're going, oh, if I had had this, I would be her. So I think
Right.
that's complicated.
Sure.
And then you, I bet, want to have some ownership over that so you feel a part of it. Like, this is a result of all this nurturing I did. And then as the child, you're like, no, I wrote these songs. I practiced.
Yeah.
At least I have no idea what the relationship is, but that's certainly a dynamic that's ripe for some challenges.
Oh, for sure.
I think the times that I got grumpiest at my dad is when like he would casually kind of mention in a way that I interpreted as him saying, I got my sense of humor from him, or like taking some kind of credit.
Yeah.
That was always really triggering to me. Or he'd say like, I'm the one who quit a steady job and started businesses over and over again. I'm the risk taker, and you got that from me. And
As an adult, you didn't like that.
yeah, I didn't
Yeah.
like it.
'Cause
Because
you
in my
felt
mind, I
like
was
it
like,
was taken
no, you
away.
left at 3.
Uh-huh.
And you don't get to claim any of this because
Yeah.
you weren't around.
Yeah.
But a bigger me should have included him in this experience.
I'm sure that does have a lot to do with the fact that he left, because I don't have any of that. Like
Stuff with your dad?
or my mom, as far as like taking credit.
Uh-huh.
Also, they don't. Like, they
Right.
don't ever say, like, oh, you got that. Like, I think they are more like, where'd you
Where'd
get
this girl
that?
come from?
Yeah, where'd you
Yeah.
get that? But every now and then, and normally it's the other person. Like, my mom will be like, oh, you got that from your dad.
Oh, uh-huh.
For some reason, I like it.
Uh-huh.
I like it more. And I think maybe part of it, which is deeper, is in a weird way, they're giving their spouse a compliment.
Yeah.
Oh, you get your discipline from him.
Uh-huh.
I hear that as, oh, you think he has a lot of discipline.
Yeah.
So I like when they give each other compliments.
That is nice.
They have to do it via this other channel.
Well, the inescapable truth is, yeah, you got everything from both of them, and I got everything
For
from
sure.
That's just the cold hard facts of
Well,
reproduction. is
yes
that
and no.
I
Yes
got
and
all
no.
of my genes from those two people.
Genes, yeah,
Yeah.
but the cultural layer I do think is large.
Yeah. If you have a chip on your shoulder, like I have had a lot of times in my life, you hear everything as taking credit away from you.
Yeah. I mean, I have that, but I don't have it with them. I don't know why, but I do have it with everybody else.
Uh-huh.
I need a lot of credit.
Oh, even I triggered you yesterday on accident by saying you don't need me anymore.
Yeah, you were talking about the show.
How good your
Monica and
show's
Jess.
doing.
Yeah.
which I'm so proud of and happy for.
Yeah.
And I said, you don't need me anymore.
But that didn't feel to me, that wasn't you taking away credit. You were giving me credit.
Yeah. But
But
somehow it was,
I didn't like
Yeah, you didn't like how it didn't
No.
land how I wanted it to. Well, I guess implied in it is you needed me at one point, which is not what I was ever suggesting.
No, and I don't think that's what bothered me. I think what scared me is the idea of things are separate.
Uh-huh. Or that I'm saying in some capacity that now I can go my own way and you can go your own way.
Maybe like this is your show and that's my show.
Oh, uh-huh.
And I don't feel that at all. I feel that this is our show and
Yeah.
that's our show.
Uh-huh.
I especially feel that this is our show.
Yeah, of
And so
course,
I get
as you should.
scared about the idea that like it's all separate or something.
Right. But I didn't intend any of that.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I know.
I was just saying you're a media mogul now. And I was proud of you.
I don't know if people are keeping up. I had a very big challenge assigned to me last week and I have completed it.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh my God, when?
Yesterday.
While you were talking to me?
No.
Oh my God.
So
I guess we'll have to wait for the
Everyone will
cliffhanger.
have to wait for Wednesday. We'll
Well,
talk
first of all, I'm
about it.
proud of you for accomplishing that challenge because I know you weren't looking forward to it.
Yeah. The challenge was I had to have phone sex.
Yeah.
And I was very scared.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it was an experience, that's for sure.
Memorable?
It was memorable.
Yeah.
It was memorable. Yeah.
It'll be inextricably linked to Corona too, which is a period of your life you'll remember a lot.
It's
Anyways,
true.
yeah.
Oh my God, it's true. Actually, I was thinking that recently. We have a guest coming up a week from today
Mm-hmm.
who talks about basically having like this like visceral memory of a period of time in his life that was like kind of hard.
Mm-hmm.
He talks about like in a comedy club and he can like remember the smell and like walking
Oh,
up the
yeah,
stairs. He
yeah.
has this like really deep memory of it. And I was thinking about it after, and I think the memories where you're most vulnerable are more etched in.
Oh, sure. Yeah, yeah.
Like those
they're
you
scary.
can repeat. Your body can repeat more
Mm-hmm.
because you're like more open, I think, to the
Yeah.
world, and then it gets etched.
I agree.
So we're vulnerable right now to Corona. So things that are
Mhm.
happening now
Yeah,
are going to feel pretty visceral, I think.
I do too. Some people commented on our debate and they liked both of us.
What
They-
debate?
About whether I should talk about being happy during this and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And so one aspect you and I neglected to think of, which I thought was a really cool one. First and foremost, people were like, they saw your intention and loved it.
Uh-huh.
And then one person wrote, like, what pisses me off is the celebrities complaining about quarantine when they're in a big fancy house and they have a ton of food
Yeah.
and all the shit and they're not panicked. That's what's annoying, is someone acting like they got it tough when I know they don't have it tough.
I understand that.
So,
yeah.
and I hadn't even thought of that aspect, I
Yeah.
think, when we were talking about it. And I was like, oh, yeah, people are smart enough to go like, who are you kidding?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
But I think in different ways, right? Like that feels like a lie
Mm-hmm.
or fraudulent.
Or a lot of, I think some of these celebrities are sincere. I think they
They also might be going through a hard. I mean, I don't.
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
not
they
fair
might
for us
just-
to say they
maybe
aren't.
they're
going-
outdoor people and they're
Yeah.
real community people and that they are unhappy.
Yeah,
But that's what's a little tone deaf.
for sure. I personally think all of that is absolutely true. If someone's walking around complaining when they have it far, far, far better than most people, that's a problem. Like I would never ask you to complain. And I, at the same time, would say maybe don't strut how fantastic everything is going.
Yeah.
Maybe like more of a middle groundy.
Yeah. Oh, again, fuck the money factor, which of course is huge. But the real advantage I have over most people, I'm with a ton of people.
Yeah.
Like I'm quarantining with you, Kristen,
Yeah.
Weekly,
Yeah.
Anna, 2 kids, which is its own misery at times. But by and large, I'm not lonely.
Definitely.
There's no loneliness happening.
No.
In our
No,
house. Yeah, yeah.
absolutely
If anything,
not.
it's just like everyone wants a little space
Yeah.
occasionally.
Yeah.
But anyways, that's probably one element that's making me enjoy it more, which is
Yeah.
really not money related per
100%.
se. Yeah.
That's very true. Okay, so you said there's studies and data that employers respect employees with boundaries, and there's a podcast, and I didn't know what podcast you meant. I kind of assume maybe you're referring to Adam Grant.
Oh, I know exactly what it was. I'm
Oh.
so glad we're talking about it. It's from that book that everyone really loved about setting boundaries. Essentialism.
Essentialism. Got it.
That's where it's from.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, Adam Grant. Not you this time.
Although I do feel like Adam Grant would.
Say something like that.
Yeah.
He said, I was looking into him to see if he said this, and he does describe two types of people. He says people who like to blend work and life are called integrators, and in contrast, segmenters like to keep their work and personal life separate.
Uh-huh. Well, you and I are the ultimate integrators.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only friction we ever have is like transitioning from the two.
For sure.
Yeah.
But he said, in general, segmenters, so not
Yeah.
us,
Yeah.
report better well-being than integrators.
Ah.
But I know why, because you're never turned off. Like you're
Right.
never.
Present for either, probably.
But I think in this case, it's more like your email's open 24/7. You're always available to that world.
Yeah.
I think he would probably consider himself an integrator.
Yeah. It seems with his rapidity in response time.
Exactly. Okay, you said Hell's Kitchen is the most densely populated city in America.
I just meant Manhattan, but yes, continue.
Okay, Gutenberg, New Jersey
Oh.
is the most densely populated incorporated place in the United States.
Oh, wow.
Hell's Kitchen is also known as Clinton. Did you know that?
After George or Bill?
I'm gonna guess
Neither.
Neither. Oh no, there was a fact I didn't look up. Hold on, but I can do it right now. You said, and you could be right about this. 13, 14, 15. Yeah, 15. Okay, so she has 15 Grammys, and you said she has more Grammys than teeth in her mouth.
Oh, I guess we would have to know how many teeth
Yeah.
she has in her mouth, but presumably more than 15. How many teeth are you supposed to have? 26 or something?
I don't know. I was just trying to count my teeth.
Well, it couldn't be 26. That'd be 13 on top, 13 on bottom. That means you'd have an extra tooth on one side.
Huh.
So it's got to be like 24 or 28 or... Here, smile. I'll count
Okay.
your teeth. Okay, I'm just going to count one side and multiply it by 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7... So 28. And then do you have
Really?
wisdom teeth or do you have them yanked?
Mine are yanked.
Mine are yanked too. So what do you, 30?
I had 4.
32?
Yeah.
I'm going to Google this. 32 teeth.
It says 32?
Yeah.
And that is including wisdom.
As we get older, these teeth shed an adult. By the way, of all the things that I think are the weirdest that we do, is that we're born with a set of teeth, they fall out and other ones come in.
I know, you hate that.
Well, I feel like that couldn't evolve. When I think about the evolution of having two different sets of teeth, I think about, okay, well, the first animal just had one set of teeth, right?
Yeah.
And they were what? Were they middle size? Like were
But
they?
what about like woolly
were they,
mammoth
were they
teeth?
tiny?
They were huge.
But I'm talking about in humans.
Oh.
So the human was born with these small baby teeth, right?
Okay.
So we don't know whether they were originally born with adult teeth, then developed baby teeth
No.
first, or they were born with baby teeth first and then developed adult teeth. You know what I'm saying?
I
Like, at
assume
some
they
point, there's
developed
an-
baby teeth because that was all that could fit. And then evolutionarily speaking, those baby teeth didn't.
They weren't big enough.
Yeah.
So, right. So at some point in our history, did adults have these tiny little teeth that were all spread out?
Ew.
And then someone had a mutation where all those fell out and then this other big set of teeth grew in. Like when you just try to work out the evolutionary steps, it seems impossible. I can see an animal having a 3-chamber heart, right? And then there's the mutation and one's born with a 4-chamber heart. And then that pumps blood better. And then that they pass on their genes in a disproportionate amount. Now everyone's got 4-chamber heart. Now, how did someone have just baby teeth and then they had a mutation that was a full other set of teeth growing behind the first set of
Okay.
teeth?
Do you think maybe originally it was just one set, but the adult teeth basically were connected to the baby teeth, but up top. They weren't two separate. They were connected. So it was just like a huge tooth, most
That
of
was
it behind
tiny.
the gum. Most of it behind the
Tiny
gum.
at first.
And then it was just growing and growing and growing. And then eventually, evolutionarily speaking, it was too much teeth in the mouth. So then they would break off into halves. This makes sense. They would break off into halves. And so eventually we grew to just have them already separate under the gum. Because those are in your gums.
They
adult
are.
teeth.
But here's another thing I'm going to throw at you. It seems to me it would be easier for the DNA to evolve to just have the teeth be malleable. So they're baby when you're small and your head's too tiny to fit these big teeth. And then the teeth themselves are able to just grow and expand, and then some more come in as there's more room in your mouth. That makes way more sense and seems less complicated
But
than
bones
just
can't grow.
reject all those teeth and then grow big ass ones up top and then send those down.
But I don't think that material can grow.
Keratin? Is that what teeth are made of?
Calcium and
I mean, they grow at some point. They start as cells and they become teeth. So they do grow originally to become teeth.
but they stop just like our bones stop growing. Same thing.
Well, our bones never stop growing.
What do you mean?
They don't stop growing. They're constantly replacing themselves. You know what I'm saying?
But they're not growing. Like my bones grew till I was 15 or
They're
whatever.
not growing longer.
Yeah.
But they are replacing themselves.
Right, but they're not expanding like they were. They did for years,
They
many
did
years.
for years and then they stopped.
And then they
yeah.
stopped. So same with the teeth.
But the teeth should be able to grow and expand like your bones.
But
It's
they-
a weird solution that there's just a full set of big ass adult teeth sitting above the tiny teeth.
I don't think I think it makes the most sense out of all of these.
That would be like saying, okay, you're born with baby bones. And then at some point, those baby bones have to protrude from your skin and reject it so that these big adult bones can grow in. That's the system that exists in our teeth.
But the bones don't work that way because bones don't have any purpose if they're outside of your skin. Teeth do. You have to
No, I'm
use
saying
them to
kick them out.
chew.
Kick them out. Your teeth fall out. So I'm saying, what if your bones that work that way and you had to have your humerus fall out so that your adult humerus could descend down into your arm and be full size? It makes way more sense just that the bone gets bigger. And so the teeth should just get bigger.
I don't know.
Okay.
I just don't know.
All right. Okay. There's one dentist that's still interested in this conversation, but he's so frustrated with how little we know about it that he
I know.
probably
He turned it
she
off.
threw her Walkman out the window.
Okay. That was all.
That was all?
Yeah.
Well, I love you.
I love you.
I love you. Bye.